Hello and welcome on into Same But Different. My name is Brody and I'm here with... What's that? I'm just supposed to do this by myself. My name is Brody and I am reporting to you alone on this one because Derek's too good for you. He's actually a very busy boy with busy things going on, and I'm okay with that, and I offered to try to Atlas shrugged this motherfucker myself, so here I am, shrugging it up.
Oh, fucking shrug? You're fucking shrugging me?
Oh. It's always really awkward doing these things alone, because I'm like, hey, here's a funny joke, and I have no reception as to if it lands or not. It's just up to me. We're just gonna jump right into this. This week, we decided to watch the movie Snack Shack. It's brand new. By brand new, I mean 2024. I couldn't tell you when it came out, because frankly, I had no idea of this movie's existence. I went into this movie not knowing a god darn flippin' thing about it. I was at my dad's house. I was house sitting. I was alone. I had a bottle of wine. I thought, I'm gonna watch this movie I've never heard of. Click, go. Boy, was I happy.
Happy, happy, happy.
Very rarely does that situation where you just decide to watch a random movie you've never heard of pan out the way this one panned out. I expected some cheap laughs, and I expected 14-year-olds cussing like old prospectors. And you get that from this movie, you really do, but you get so much more. The chemistry between these two lads is palpable, the word. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it's so reflective of what it's like to have a best friend who you truly love, who is truly your brother, not just your friend. They are your family. That is what I got from these lead actors. They did it wonderfully. It captures the 90s in such a beautiful way. There is a lot of 90s music, but it doesn't rely on the gimmicks that a lot of these movies try to throw at you just to be like, it's the 90s. It just felt like the 90s.
Early 90s?
It starts as an absolutely goofy comedy, and then it slowly unravels the drama and stays comedic, and then it ultimately hits you with a whammy of a gut punch, and you're like, holy shit. You get tricked because you spend 90 minutes just falling in love with how funny it is and how wonderful everything is, and you love what you're watching and you love these characters, and then it fists you. It was just such a beautiful progression of storytelling, and it's very true to life. I mean, let's get introspective for a second. No matter how funny your week is, shit still goes down. It's a very simple concept that I find is missed in a lot of comedies. Like, for example, the drama in Superbad, it's not that dramatic, and it was never meant to be, and that's okay. I forgive it for that, but that's what I'm saying, is these kinds of movies don't need to go that far. If you know me, I love hurt. I'm a masochist when it comes to movies, so I loved it. The lead girl, never heard of her, played her part great. Actually, most of these actors are unknown to me. Some of the adult characters I had recognized, and I also recognized Shane, the older brother figure. He's not a brother, but brother-esque. Nick Robinson, if you know who that is. They all did such an amazing job that just make you feel like you could hang out with these people. It was great. It was engaging. It was hilarious. It was heartfelt. My favorite part of the entire movie, spoilers... No spoilers. It follows a very cliche formula where anybody who's seen a movie will know that these best friends are going to have a falling out in the third act, and they do. I have never in my life seen it resolved in such an incredible, raw, emotional, realistic way. To the point where, like, it doesn't even get resolved. They just realize other things are more important, and they get past it. It's really, really, really fascinating. I just wouldn't have expected a movie like this to be so goddamn smart. Now, when it comes to gripes, it's really hard to pick apart a movie like this because it was funny, the acting was good, it had a great story, and it did very good progression and character work, so there's not a lot to complain about. My biggest gripe is for the first third of this movie, they're introduced as these 14-year-old kids who make their own beer.
Beers, oh yeah.
And they introduce it like it's a big plot, but as soon as they get the snack shack, that falls by the wayside. There's a huge falling out where their parents find the beer and it's a whole thing, and they're like, we're gonna start it up again. And I thought they'd start peddling it at the snack shack to like minors. I thought that was gonna be really funny, but nope, they just basically never talk about it again. It just felt like they set something up and just ditched it for a different idea. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It's as good as a movie like this can be, and if you can't tell by how excited I am, I liked it. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. A movie like this getting an 8 out of 10 is like a 10 out of 10 in this genre, essentially. So do with that what you will. Let's hop over to Derek, surprise, and hear what he thought.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Brody. I'm happy to be here. Let's review The Snack Shack. Or is it just called Snack Shack? Is there a "the" in there? Already I was sold with this movie because it takes place in the 90s. And if you know me, you know I love the 90s. And you set a movie within that time period, I'm looking out for all the nostalgia and I feel right at home. So I was already happy I was going to be watching this. And I'm happy to report that I had a good time with this one. When I was watching the film, it felt like if John Hughes were to make a movie today about the 90s and add a little bit more crass to it, that's this film. It hits all the necessary cliches of the coming-of-age teenage dramedy. You've got the annoying parents, the best friend, the sibling who is preferred over our main character, the older brother figure that he learns things from, the summer job, the girl next door, the puberty and hormones. It's all there. It feels familiar, but refreshing at the same time. One of the things that this movie does is takes the cliche of a love triangle between the main character, the best friend, and the girl next door, and kind of like spins it and reverses it in a way that I wasn't really expecting. Usually, the main character likes the girl, and then the best friend, behind his back, hooks up with that girl. That happens, and our main character gets bugged about it, but then our main character hooks up with the girl, and the best friend gets mad about it. That usually doesn't happen, right? I thought that was a pretty cool little extra layer.
Layered, like nachos.
And then towards the end of the film, we are served a out of nowhere, left field, emotional gut punch that really elevated this film more than I thought it would be. Honestly, up until that moment, I was willing to give this movie mediocrity at best. I was like, okay, I'm having fun with this. It's fine. It's nothing that I haven't seen before. It's whatever. But yeah, that last little bit really just sent this movie from here to here for me. Some might feel like it was shoehorned, but also at the same time, I just excused it as, honestly, reality. Shit happens. The one thing that I wanted more from this movie was more of a backstory or more of a character development and history with Moose. I wanted to know about his family life, his at-home life, what kind of kid he was at school. We kind of got an idea of that, but it wasn't as in-depth as it could have been to allow me to feel the things I wanted to feel for the best friend whenever he got hurt or whenever he acted or was motivated to do something. He's kind of just a one-dimensional character in that regard. I wanted to feel for him as the tragic, compensating, might turn into a life of crime type of friend, like a Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World.
I said, but.
Anyway, I won't spend too much time on this since I'm not actually there, but I enjoyed this film and I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10 fuck dogs. I'd rewatch it, and I'd definitely recommend this to people to watch at least once. Back to you, you jabroni.
You know, on an episode of Same But Different, if we're same but more or less same, it's gonna be a good time. Check it out if you enjoy a good R-rated comedy. Honestly, had a blast with it. So did Derek. I recommend it to just about anybody with a sense of humor. And with that, have you seen Snack Shack? I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see any marketing. I don't know anybody who's talked about it. I don't know. Have you seen it? Because I would love to hear what you thought, if you loved it as much as we did, or if you didn't like it. I'm almost more curious. What didn't you like about it? What didn't work? Next week, I am so sorry to tell you this, Derek won't be here again. I am going to review Hundreds of Beavers. This movie is being hailed as one of the greatest comedies ever made. In this 19th century supernatural winter epic, a drunken Applejack salesman must go from zero to hero and become North America's greatest fur trapper by defeating hundreds of beavers. Come back next week and watch that. In the meantime, follow, comment, subscribe, like, share, dance, love, breathe. Be your best selves. Keep watching movies. I love ya.